Welcome back to the Gathering Place podcast, and this is the week of love.
The week of love.
This is Valentine's week, and I am Joe Seaman, a real estate agent here in the Augusta, Georgia, Aiken, South Carolina market, and this is my lovely bride of 20 plus years. We'll come back. I'll come back to that part in a few minutes.
24? We're going on 24. Yes.
Ooh. I don't know, but
no.
Anyways,
yes.
What's your name,
okay.
bride? So,
My name is Hope, and I am the circus master of our life.
The ring master.
The
ring leader. Yeah. I don't
We're
know
going to have fun today.
I don't know that you want to say you're the ring leader.
I said ring master.
Yeah. So
I said
anyways,
circus master is actually what I said.
Fun fact, did you remember that this is our original dating anniversary week where we went on our first date?
I do.
Back in...
And that was 24 years ago.
2000,
so we've been married.
2000, the year 2000, February 10th, the year 2000, we went on our very first official date that we really didn't know if it was official or not, because it was like, are we friends? Are we going to be a thing?
Are you talking about when we went to Olive Garden or we went to
Went to Olive Garden on Washington Road.
Japanese?
Went to Olive Garden on Washington Road.
Oh.
Little Lori Lou.
Oh, Lauren.
Oh, Rara.
Faithful Rara.
Oh, Rara. She's the one that was like, hey, I think I had her set up with Hope. I was like, find out if Hope wants to go eat. So she was like, hey, I think you...
Lauren could get
Lauren
us
calls
to do
me Little
anything.
Joe. And so she's like, I think you and Little Joe should go eat.
Okay, so...
And I'm going to tag along.
No, she said, come with me, and Little Joe's going to tag along. That's really what she said.
Mm-hmm.
So Lauren is my cousin. Before I had siblings, Lauren was like my fill-in sibling. So we were 7 or 8 years apart. My first sibling came along, my brother Taylor. That was 10 years. There's 10 years between he and I. So with that being said, like Lauren was my first she was my cousin, but she was my first sibling. So she was like your little sister, kind of. Because
my mom watched her and her sister.
Well, at that time it was just her. Yeah. Yes.
And
his mom used to babysit kids in their home. Y'all probably heard about this before when we talked about, like, in our earlier podcast, like how we met, like that kind of thing, middle school sweethearts. But Lauren has always been that factor, that key factor.
She's always been a part of both of our lives.
Yes.
And so
yes.
It's just been fun. But that was our original.
I think that Olive Garden's closed down now.
They moved locations.
They just closed it down. We should have gone back.
We should have gone back,
reasons.
and I didn't think about that whatsoever. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, we missed out on that.
We missed out on that.
But anyways, our first original dating.
So that was 24 years ago.
But I still remember having that feeling of, is this a date? Is this us going out as friends? Because Lauren's here.
Well, I thought we were just going out as friends. But now that I look back on it, it was like, again, the best decision I ever made. But some of the best decisions I ever made in my life are ones that I just didn't plan anything, didn't overthink, and just did, right? So if I look back on patterns of my life, it's when I wasn't trying to orchestrate whatever, that those were the best times. So in my mind, I was going to dinner, and then from that point on, we were inseparable.
Do you think you were getting a free dinner that night?
No, I did not. No, I'm pretty sure at that point in my life, in fact, I know, I was working. So I had my own money. Yeah. I was working at Fresh Market.
Yeah, you are. Mm-hmm.
I probably did get a free dinner that night.
You did.
But it was me, you, Lauren, and Keaton.
Mm-hmm. So that was February 10th, 2000.
Yes.
And I had to do the math while you were talking. We got married on March 30th, 2002.
Yes.
So we're coming up on our 22nd anniversary.
I had that down.
Been together for 24 years this year.
Wow.
So that's a long time.
That's a long time.
How in the world? Because I'm barely over 24.
Oh, my God.
So how did you even do that?
Lies. Lies.
So you've been with me longer than you were even with your parents.
I know.
That's what is so
know.
wild to me whenever I sit back and think of it. Like, I've been married longer than I lived at home.
Yeah. And you're stuck with me, by the way.
I can't be that old. Like, that's hard to imagine.
You know, it's wild that we're having this subject conversation today because I really thought about that this morning. I'm trying to remember my conversation with myself in my own mind when I was getting ready.
When you're having your business meeting?
Okay. So when I was trying to pick out my clothes for the day, I was thinking that, like, I don't know. I mean, we've been together for so long. Like, I don't know really life outside of being married to you. And I wouldn't change it for anything. Like, you are literally stuck with me. And there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're stuck with me. But, like, in life, we've been through a lot in those 24 years. But there's nobody, and I'm not just saying this because it's the week of love and Valentine's Day is right around the corner. I'm not saying that. Like, there's really no one else in this lifetime I would ever want to ride or die with. Because you literally, like, when I'm at a low point, you're at a high point. When you're at a low point, I'm at a high point. And we just balance each other out. And I think today, and I don't know where we were going with this podcast, but I'm probably fixing to take it in a totally different direction. But I think today, people are looking for that chemical reaction, that chemistry, whatever.
Staying on a high.
24/7. Like, I can honestly tell you, there's probably times in life you've second guessed, what in the world was I thinking?
Early on, I'll be honest. Yeah. Early on, I was like, what was I thinking?
Awful.
That first year, we barely survived that first year together.
It was awful. I tell everybody.
It was not.
It
was not good.
It wasn't.
And I would not want to relive. A lot of people are like, I would never change anything. I wouldn't want to relive that.
Oh, my God. It was awful. We went to counseling, but there's nothing wrong with going to counseling. It's the best thing we ever did. But it was tough, and it was just a battle of wills. And to this day, like, there's times where I'm like, you are not going to tell me what to do, because I'm a very independent woman when I want to be and not when I don't want to be. Let's be very clear. There are all these women in this world that want to be blah, 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 blah. No, I'm independent when I want to make my own decisions, but I'm not independent when it means doing life by myself. I'm very much.
But there's so many decisions that you're like, can I do this? And I'm like, I don't care.
Well, I don't ever say, let's be clear. I don't ever say, can I? I just say, should I do this? What do you think about this? I don't say, can I? But I would say,
I'm like, I don't care.
Whatever you want to do. Like, what are your thoughts?
You help bring money into the household. I don't care that you spend money.
I don't want to, like, I'm not that woman that wants to, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to live by myself. I love our relationship and that we balance each other out. And I think today that so many people want to chase that feeling, want to chase that chemistry, and want to stick there and all of that. And you can't stay there. You can feel that for a minute, but you can't stay there. Like, us getting married, I grew up in a divorced home. You did not. When I said I do, I meant that with every fiber of my being. There's no gray area there. That was through thick and thin, through sickness and health, and we have been through that, haven't we? We talked about that last night. We were like, we didn't know we signed up for a lot of that sickness that you and I have been through, but like we on the every day
good side of everything now.
We make that commitment even when you don't feel like it sometimes, But there's nobody in this lifetime that I would ever. So when I would say to you, if you haven't found that love, is find that person that not only do you have chemistry with and you have feelings for and there's that chemical reaction, find that person who's also your friend. Because if you can't have that be your best friend, you're constantly chasing a high that you're not ever going to always have. That would be my suggestion. Not that you asked for that. Y'all didn't ask for that today. But I just see so many people in this world today that are chasing these feelings, when you have to work on that sometimes. Like you have to make that commitment, make that investment in another human being, and like accept them for who they are. Don't go into a relationship thinking you're going to change somebody. You can't change somebody.
Speaking from experience right here, you can't change anybody. I'm kidding.
Lord have mercy.
I'm kidding. But I think a big factor of it too is we're both, let me figure out a word for this. We are both kind of like realistic dreamers.
Yes.
Nothing like too far-fetched and crazy. And there's nothing.
You have the ability to dream a little bit higher than I do, which I think is amazing.
But then on the flip side, we both buy into each other's dream.
Yes.
And so I think that is what has created such a strong relationship with us. Like, you had a dream of starting a gift boutique. Right? I bought into that. I had a dream and we did it. And we did it well. And then I had a dream of going into real estate, and you've bought into that. Like, you were very much about, I'm not going to get involved in this business the first 2 years. And then you slowly came around to it, and now you're like full force into it.
And I would say I did not get involved in it because I didn't want to support your dream. It's because you were so entranced in that dream, rightfully so, because we had to eat. Like, we literally had to eat. Sometimes.
So somebody had to stay back.
Someone had to stay back and
make sure that our family was going to get fed.
Well, and make sure that we were surviving. Like, that's the big thing, is that I did support it 100%. I just couldn't get involved in it yet until we got to a place where it wasn't going to be just me. But all that to say, like, we do help each other out. We do see each other's dreams. We don't ever like make those things minute. What's important to you is important to me. And everything's not always rosy.
Definitely not.
It's not rosy.
Definitely not.
We're not always rosy.
It gets muddy. But I will tell you, like, we don't go into, there are couples who just have these knockdown, drag-out fights, and they're, spinning wheels out of the driveway and mad at each other and cussing each other out, and then they jump on social media and they can't stand their spouse. And
no, I try.
I don't know that
really
we've
hard.
actually had like a fight like that.
No.
It's, and that is something that we're fortunate not to have had, because I may get mad and I may get quiet and not speak.
We haven't had that in a long time either, though.
We hadn't had that in a long time.
That was very early on in the subject. I'm an over-communicator and you were an under-communicator, but that is part of what we balance each other out with as far as our relationship, not people. But it's become a balance of, all right, I've had enough of this particular I'm going to walk away, or it's going to get worse. I'm going ahead and telling you, this is my draw, like, this is it. I'm moving on in a different direction. We'll revisit this when I've calmed down, and you do very well with that.
Yeah.
You do, but we don't really have that
we don't
as
really
often.
have that. I'm trying to think.
No, sometimes you and the boys will annoy me on purpose, and I'm like, go away.
It's just a guy thing.
It's just a guy thing, being the only female in my house.
But I will tell you that, marriage does have its ups and downs.
It does, but it's worth it when you have two people.
When you find the right person.
When you have two people that want to dig in and make it work. And I just think growing up in a broken home there's a lot that I came out better for, okay? There's also a lot of things I experienced that no child should ever have to experience. My parents were great, so if y'all are watching this, I love you. You were great. And I know you did the best that you could do. But
thanks, y'all. What I've had to deal with. No. I love y'all too.
But I would not choose that for anybody. If I could do that, I would not choose that for a child. I wouldn't choose it for a child. And so if you have the opportunity before children are involved to make it right, find that person. I was fortunate enough that when I wanted to grow up and make that transition into my life of growing up and stop chasing those whatever and like look into reality and see what does my future look like with this human being? Can we make this work? Like when I decided to grow up and make those grown up choices, I was fortunate enough that you were still around because I did a lot of like ridiculous spending time in different directions that was just not worthy of my time and energy. Because you have this image in your head that everything's supposed to be rosy all the time, and it's not. And when I grew up, and it really had to do with Keaton, becoming a mom and having to grow up and having to sink or swim and just realizing, there's just no time for all this in life. I need to really, when our relationship started, I was in the mindset of just being single. Like, just being single. You were just going to be my friend. Like, we were going to be friends. I was going to be single. This is the way it was going to be.
And I had no plans of getting married. Definitely not at
anytime soon.
21 years old.
Definitely did not have any plans of bringing on myself and a child. But it just worked out because I wasn't trying to make something happen that wasn't intended to happen. So
when she starts acting up, I tell her she can always go back to her.
Oh, my Lord, no. He does every once in a while, and I'm like, praise the Lord for unanswered prayers. Yeah. That's what I'm going to tell you.
But I'm going to just tell you, like, you have to find that your person, like, inside my ring. I can't wear my ring right now because something weird happened after surgery. That joint swole. My joints are swollen. I can't put my original wedding band on. But you have inside engraved in my ring my soulmate and the date we got married. So I feel like you have to dig and you have to find that person that you just can't, like, it sounds so cliche, but almost like you can't breathe without. Like, we enjoy our time apart. Like, I work during the day. You're at home a lot of times with the boys working, but you're at home. We've got that separation.
Yeah.
There are some times you'll go to the beach for 3 or 4 days, or you'll be down there for 3 or 4 days or a week, and I'll come down. We enjoy that little bit of separation, but separation, it makes the heart grow fonder, you know?
I don't like him.
That's why I was saying it makes it sound so cliche. But literally, like, you need to spend time on what attributes in a person are you looking for?
Well, and I want you to be the best that you can be. Like, I want to support you. And
vice versa. Like, I want to support you and make you be.
It's not the Hope Show. And it's not the Joe Show. I'd laugh at him. And
it ain't the Joe Show?
I know this one's going to be long. I'm sorry, Drew. I'm going ahead and telling you. You've already waved at me.
I thought it was the Joe Show.
You think it is, but it's
kidding.
not. It's not
Hope
the
tells
Hope
me
Show.
All the time it is not the Joe Show.
I do, and I don't mean that ugly.
I walk in the back door sometimes, and she'll tell me right then. She's already in a mood. She said, "It is not the Joe Show today."
That's not true. No. My point is that we do this life together. We don't do it separate. And I see too many times people trying to just be about themselves and build themselves up, and they leave their partner or their significant other or their spouse to the wayside. And we don't do that. We can't do that because, number one, I'm not going to let us because it's just that part of that trauma from childhood and just don't want to be alone. Like, I know what it's like. And so I'm like, nope, we're going to fix this. We're going to move in this direction. We're going to do what we need to do. And it doesn't matter. Like, we're going to make this work. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And that's important to me. And you are just really good at just sitting back, assessing the situation. If you need to react, you react. If you don't, Hope, you do not say this to me, but you're like, I'm sure, you're like, Hope, I'm not going to say anything because there's nothing I could say right now that would make this any better. So I'm just going to sit here and be quiet. And so I think that's a good thing for us because we balance each other out.
We made it work.
But all that to say, this week on this week's podcast, the week of love, coming into Valentine's Day, if you've found that person, amazing. Stick it out, dig deep. Remember, life isn't always rosy, and you're going to have highs and lows.
And make time for each other.
Make time for each other.
We have a dedicated date night. No questions asked.
Right.
Like, we know we're going on date night, Wednesday nights.
Praise each other.
And our friends and people on social media and all that, they know Wednesday is our date night. Like, we're going to post about it.
Yeah.
And they've gotten to see that pattern, but I think it's important to make time for each other. Just you two, because you can get so busy with kids and work and the house and life and
every once in a while I will feel that I'll say we're a little disconnected. It don't happen often, but there are times like I feel very disconnected from you. We have to fix that. I don't know what's wrong. You're busy, I'm busy, but we got to fix that. And to me, that's important. So I was just say, listen to your significant other, work together, compliment each other, praise each other. Even when nobody's watching, little stuff. Here recently, Joe's been making my coffee in the morning. Super, he doesn't do it all the time, but he's been doing it lately. And I'm like, oh, it's so sweet of you.
I make your coffee in the morning and I mix your drink at night.
There you go. All of those things.
But it is those little things.
It's little
it's little things to just show your significant other that you appreciate them and that you see them and that you want to show that they're valuable to you.
They're important. Don't take them for granted. Don't take a human being in your life, any relationship, don't take it for granted. And, there's that. That's my hope talk for today.
And if y'all have any suggestions on how to make my knuckle go down
so
and
I
swelling,
bought him, I know we're going over again. I bought him another wedding ring for Christmas. He won't wear it.
It's just not the same.
It's still a little, even that needs to be fixed. Well, you're going to wear something.
But it's just not the same.
You're going to wear one of
my
these.
My original band
I know, but I don't want
very sentimental to me.
It is, but I don't want to cut it
but
and
if y'all have
expand
any suggestions on how to make the swelling go down in your knuckle, I don't really know why it won't go down, but my ring just won't go over my knuckle at all. And so, but I try it on every single morning. Like, okay, this morning it went a little further. Like, it's going a little bit further and further every morning, but it just
about to wear
over.
something. I'm about to go get those Quella bands, and plastic ones or something. He's going to wear a band here soon.
But I'm very attached to like my original wedding band.
I mean, I get that
because it has, some importance in what you've written inside of it, and also it helps me keep up with our anniversary date. So I never know. Like I never don't
get to
know
the real reason. So this new one that I bought just needs to be inscribed and expanded just a little bit, and we'll be fine.
When my anniversary is. So, anyways,
Lord.
No, it is important. It's very important to show your spouse that their value, or your significant other,
whoever that may be. And if you haven't found that person, I know we have to go. If you haven't found that person yet, they'll come. Just be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day. Do not try to make something that's not for you work. So that's
just
my
for reference, like
hope talk for today.
How long did we date?
2 years.
How long was it from when? Just giving some fun facts here at the end. 2 years dating. So from the moment we got engaged to getting married,
less than 2 months.
Less than 2 months. Everyone thought that I was going to pop the question around Christmas, and
I didn't think that.
Well, my whole family and everybody thought it was going to be Christmas, and just in true Joe fashion, even 20 years ago,
random day in January.
It can't be when everybody's expecting it. It has to be totally random. So it was a random day. We went to where to eat.
It was Miyabi's.
Still is Miyabi's.
Oh yeah, it was Japanese food. And then he proposed on a billboard, so that was
proposed on a billboard. So they put the billboard up while we were out eating, and then I drive up to the billboard, and she was like, "Is this for real?"
So he threw that ring across that car. I don't know how he did it, but he threw it around
here, and she's like, "Oh my God, yes!" So, anyways, that is our love story for this week of love.
Yes.
It's been fun.
It was a little long. We're sorry.
I know, but it's been fun. And we appreciate y'all joining us each and every week.
Yes.
Y'all done a great job of following us and subscribing on YouTube and commenting and all that.
If you have any topics that you want us to discuss, we don't make these up. We just decide them as we go along. But if there are certain topics you have questions about, comment below.
Real estate, personal, not too personal, but real estate or personal, it doesn't matter. So reach out to us. Let us know what you want us to talk about, and we appreciate y'all joining us. We will catch y'all next Monday on the Gathering Place podcast, and we are signing off.